Hi, I have another creative pep talk for you. And this week, because we've been talking about some heavy things in recent weeks, I want to lighten things up a little bit in a way that might surprise you a little bit. I want to read you a very short story from this book, The Art of Possibility. And it's called Rule Number 6. Two prime ministers are sitting in a room discussing affairs of state. Suddenly, a man bursts in, apoplectic with fury, shouting and stamping and banging his fist on the desk. The resident prime minister admonishes him. Peter, he says, kindly remember rule number 6. Whereupon Peter is instantly restored to complete calm, apologizes, and withdraws. The politicians return to their conversation, only to be interrupted yet again 20 minutes later by a hysterical woman gesticulating wildly, her hair flying. Again, the intruder is greeted with the words, Marie, please remember rule number 6. Complete calm descends once more, and she too withdraws with a bow and an apology. When the scene is repeated for a third time, the visiting prime minister addresses his colleague. My dear friend, I've seen many things in my life, but never anything as remarkable as this. Would you be willing to share with me the secret of rule number 6? Very simple, replies the resident prime minister. Rule number 6 is, don't take yourself so goddamn seriously. Ah, says his visitor, that is a fine rule. After a moment of pondering, he inquires, and what, may I ask, are the other rules? There aren't any. I feel like this story it's both a kind of permission and it's a reminder of how easy it is to get caught up in our own story and our own internal nonsense and our own self-importance. And sometimes we need to be self-important. Sometimes that's an important boundary to set to take care of ourselves, but not in this particular context. But it reminds us that the world doesn't revolve around us. And whatever it is that is bothering us probably isn't actually that big a deal and is something that we can work around if we take a minute, calm ourselves down, remind ourselves that we're okay, which is something that I don't think we do often enough, especially when we get upset, and look at it from a different perspective. Look at it with a little bit of creativity, with a little bit of a problem-solving angle, turning it around, looking at the different facets of the situation, and trying to figure out what we might do differently that would take care of it, that would make things work for us, or at the very least, would minimize the problem that we perceive. I think when a lot of us get caught up in the comparison and the perfectionism and the being mean to ourselves, we have forgotten rule number 6. In fairness, you may only just have heard of rule number 6. But usually when we get upset, when we get angry, when we get self-righteous, it's right there in the name, self-righteous. We've forgotten that it's not all about us. We've forgotten that things come in from unexpected places in unexpected ways. The mistake that we just made that we think is fatal to our project may actually be the key to the next one, or may be the key to the one we're working on, and we just haven't seen it yet. It may give us a whole new way of looking at things that we really need. It may point us in the direction of something that we never even knew that we might be interested in, that turns out to be a great passion project or passion interest for us. All sorts of things that come from looking at what we've been handed differently, which really, in many ways, is the essence of creativity, isn't it? Looking at life in a different way. Looking at things in a way we don't normally look at them, standing on our heads, seeing them from another angle, from another perspective, from another person's shoes. So, think about rule number 6. Think about whether or not you want to make rule number 6 a part of your daily life, whether it's your creative life, your work life, any part of your life. I think it works everywhere. And don't forget, if you're having trouble getting yourself unstuck or keeping your energy moving, that's what my creative tune-up kit is for. You can read all about it at the link in the show notes. And, rule number 6 is a piece of that too. Creative tune-up is all about getting you out of your own way, and that is really what rule number 6 is for. So chew on that, experiment with it. I would love to hear your experience with rule number 6 and with the Creative Tune-Up Kit. And I will talk to you next time.